No, Baal-zebul, Baal-Hadad is not the devil, and never, ever, ever in any records are there evidence of child sacrifice to him. That is all a biblical polemic. I'm going to read you some evidence. This book is called Asherah and the Cult of Yahweh. You can find it on archive.org. A second example of such willful confusion involves the cult of human sacrifice in Israel. In Deuteronomistic materials, we find a polemic against an alleged god, Molech, to which human sacrifices are offered. Otto Eisfeld showed that no deity Molech ever existed, and in fact, the Hebrew word is a technical sacrificial term, a cognate of Punic molk. In the Hebrew Bible, children are sacrificed for a molk offering to Yahweh. In the Deuteronomistic history, Molech is a god of the Ammonites. Let us say for the sake of argument that the Deuteronomistic writers actually believed that humans were being sacrificed to a foreign god Molech in Israel. Even if this were the case, Jeremiah 32:35 indicates very clearly that willful confusion is being employed, because here human sacrifice is associated with Baal, and nowhere in Canaanite religion do we find this. Human sacrifice, as we shall discuss, is the province of El, both in Sanchuanathan and in the Punic world of the late first millennium. But this Deuteronomistic prose editorial text from Jeremiah claims that Bamot were built for Baal and the valley of Ben Hinnom, where human sacrifices were performed. In this text, Lamolech can be read for a molk offering. Skip through the Hebrew. And they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of Ben Hinnom, in order to cause their sons and daughters to pass through the fire for a human sacrifice, though I did not command them, nor did it enter my mind, to do this abomination, causing Judah to transgress. In this text, the Deuteronomistic polemic has associated human sacrifice with the cult of Baal. Jeremiah 19:5 is similar. Yet it is interesting to note that behind the superficial association of human sacrifice with Baal is a clear allusion to such sacrifices being given to Yahweh, though I did not command them, nor did it enter my mind. This expression is always used of practices dedicated to Yahweh which the Deuteronomistic oppose. In fact, Jeremiah 7:31 uses the same expression in a context where it is clear that sacrifices to Yahweh are meant. And they built high places, the Tophet, which is the valley of Ben Hinnom, in order to burn their sons and their daughters in fire, which I did not command, nor did it enter my mind. This association of child sacrifice with Yahweh's cult is evident in several other passages from the prophets. In Micah 6:6-7, sacrifice of the firstborn for the transgression of the parent is listed with other excessive forms of sacrifice to Yahweh, thousands of rams, rivers of oil, which are unnecessary according to the prophet. Micah does not condemn child sacrifice per se as immoral, foreign, or Canaanite. It is simply not what Yahweh wants. He wants justice and covenant loyalty. In Isaiah 30:33, the precinct for human sacrifices, Tophet, has been prepared, and Yahweh's breath, like a stream of brimstone, kindles the pyre. The expression Lamolech for the king, if original to the text, should be amended to Lamolech for the human sacrifice. Ezekiel 20:25-26 and 31 is another witness to human sacrifices offered to Yahweh. In light of the evidence, the case for a cult in Israel dedicated to a god Molech is exceedingly weak. Eisfeld's argument remained convincing. Let's go back to that story that Sanctoniathan, the Phoenician historian, mentions about El Kronos sacrificing his son. That sounds interesting. This is from Preparation for the Gospel by Eusebius, and he is summarizing what Sanctoniathan says about Kronos El. Then this is the story of Kronos, and such are the glories of the mode of life, so vaunted among the Greeks of men in the days of Kronos, whom they also affirm to have been the first and golden race of articulate speaking men, that blessed happiness of the olden time. Again, the historian adds to this after other matters. But Astarte, the great goddess, and Zeus Damaros and Adodos, king of gods, reigned over the country with the consent of Kronos. And Astarte set the head of a bull upon her head as a mark of royalty. And in traveling round the world, she found a star that had fallen from the sky, which she took up and consecrated in the holy land Tyre. And the Phoenicians say that Astarte is Aphrodite. Here it comes. Kronos, Also, in going around the world, gives the kingdom of Attica to his own daughter Athena. But on the occurrence of a pestilence and mortality, Cronos offers his only begotten son as a whole burnt offering to his father Uranus, and circumcises himself, compelling his allies also to do the same. Long story short, for all those who can't stick around through all that information, basically the evidence points to a different narrative of the traditional idea we've been given about child sacrifice for Baal Hadad. It's actually more likely for Yahweh and for El, which tracks, right? Christianity is predicated on child sacrifice, Jesus sacrificing himself for his God Yahweh. To answer your question, my Baal Hadadi is not the devil. And not even to mention that Satan is one of the good guys. Satan is one of the B'nai Elohim. If you consider Yahweh and El to be the good guys, then Satan, according to the Bible, is on the good side. Those pejorative stories are written about the Canaanites who worship Baal Hadad to demonize them, to demonize Baal. Because it's a competing religion, because again, it's all about control. The state wants to control the people. So what do? You write bad stories about them. But doth protest too much, if you know what I mean. So it's pretty clear that Canaanite religion has had a huge influence on countless religions, which is pretty dope. That is why I'm trying to educate myself and just have a better understanding of the biblical historicity, that it's not a true story, but there are some truths within it if you know how to look. So, thank you for asking the question.